It's Callum Reilly, Mayor of Corby Town. I just wanted to say that I'm really looking forward and very honoured to be attending the Carers Appreciation Night, which is taking place at the Holiday Inn on Saturday, the 7th of March 2026. I'll be there as a distinguished guest, and I'm really looking forward to being there to recognising and appreciating our carers and the vital work that you do, and hope for it to be a fantastic evening.
Hello. Well, welcome. This is Affinity Productions. We are leading up to the Carers Appreciation Night happening on the 7th of March at Corby. And today we are coming back to you with another fantastic live. I've got two guests waiting, and I cannot wait to deep dive into today's conversation, which we are going to focus a lot around unpaid carers. So we have McClare, and we've got Pastor Anna. McClare is going to be joining us shortly. But first, hello, Pastor Anna. How are you?
How are you? I'm fine, and how are you?
I am
Hello,
good.
audience. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for taking your time to join us this evening. I know you could be doing so many other things, so we are honored to have you on the platform. We are streaming in from YouTube and also Facebook. So thank you once again. Now, we just wanted to have you on just to really talk to us a little bit about the care industry. I know that you have been following and you have been part of the Carers Appreciation Night since the beginning, really. So
Yes.
Before we talk about that, just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, thank you very much, Bini. Yes, I've been part of the Carers Appreciation Night, and this is our fourth one. And it was an idea that, everybody else is being appreciated, but the carers were not being appreciated in the background. So I've been in the care industry for a long time. I wasn't born here. I'm an immigrant. So when I was in Africa, I used to care for people, for my grandparents, my siblings. So when I came here, I also found that the care sector, it needed carers. So then I began caring from 2001 up to 2016, when I became a care provider. So care has been part of me, and yeah.
Wow. So was that a natural passion and desire? Was it a need that you saw or a gap in the market that particularly drew you to the sector?
Yes, there was a gap in the market. There was, the gap was caused by people having to stay in hospitals for longer periods, and instead of being in their own homes. And one thing I've seen over the years is that for one, being at your own home, you easily get better. Hospitals are there fine to make you feel better, but when you get back to your home, your recovery gets faster than when you are lying in bed. And over the years, I've also seen people losing their walking ability because they'd stayed long in hospital beds.
Absolutely.
There is still a gap.
Yes, absolutely. I can definitely, that resonates. You can go into the hospital poorly, and then the longer you remain there, the more you deteriorate, actually. And it's not so much because you're not being given always the care, it's the environment, isn't it, as well? And how much that impacts on the individual. So I think that's having the right care is really important, and being in the right environment, I say, it's definitely aids to your recovery time.
It is being in your own home is the best thing which can ever happen to you. And as you said, yes, in hospital, if you are still unwell enough, you find the hospital being the best place to be in. But once you begin feeling better, you just want to go home.
Yeah. I think what can be a little bit difficult or maybe conflicting is a lot of people might feel that being in a hospital, you can get the treatment. You've got assistant 24/7. This is a system that runs 24/7. It's always open. And when you are at home, there is that heavy load on the carer, who's going to have to care for you. And they also get impacted in that process. So a lot of people might find that actually maybe I'm better off being in the hospital because of the overload on the individual who has to care.
I think that is where this government is coming to provide paid carers who alleviate the load from the wife or son or daughter. By having paid carers coming into the house and taking care of what needs to be done, makes the load lighter for whoever is staying with that person. And remember, there are also other people who do not have anybody to stay within the house. Either they have got a live-in carer or, the domiciliary carers who come in now and again during the day. And all those people, they feel from the client himself who is unwell, they feel better because they know that they are not overloading their relative. And for the carer who comes in, they do the job and also earn a living. And that relative also has got time to go out and run their own lives without having to be in the house all the time. So it helps nearly everybody in that game.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to touch a little bit on the gap that you mentioned, because there's still such a big gap, with the proportion of the care need, and actually the workers. And what's your opinion, or what's your thought around the care system in the UK at the moment?
I think a lot still has to be done. It's better from when I started and now, by the introduction of overseas carers. I find that the care industry struggles because it's a job which is really looked down on.
Yeah.
And also, like nurses, they've got their PIN. Carers don't have anything. They just need to go to work, and it's not recognized by first of all, by how much they are paid. Very poorly paid. And also, when you are working with a district nurse, she thinks that she's better than you. When you take a client to the doctors, they normally don't take any advice from the carers. I remember one time when I went in with a client, to a doctor wanting their eyes to be seen. And then they said, what do they need the eyesight for? If they are getting blind, they are not doing anything, they're not going to work. But I said, look here, they also need to see the food they are taking, the color of the food, and seeing even the color of the clothes they are wearing. This is the thing that the carers and the people who are being cared for, we still have a lot to work on that. To make people appreciate their carers. And also remember that today we are sitting here, we are talking, but in a few years' time, I'll also be old enough to be cared for. So when people walk in, we have got a pilot whom we're looking after at the moment. Imagine somebody who used to fly between countries, working for BA, working for Pan America. You can imagine that type of person. Now he's in the house, he needs care. So when we see him, we're just seeing that old man in the house, forgetting that he used to fly people around. We've got doctors, we have got members of parliament. They get old. We all get old. So by the end of the day, we sort of forget. Even those in those who are the lawmakers, they forget that one day they'll need care.
No, absolutely, and it's such a really great point that you've pointed out, which our next speaker is going to touch on a lot about. Just that never forgetting where we've come from, and actually one day we are all going to be in a position where we will need care. And as you mentioned, there's such a wide gap and there's so much more work that needs to be done. And that kind of neglect around the system itself and how the carers are treated and how unpaid. I mean, there's so much conversations that needs to be had around it. How important would you say this type of event, the Carers Appreciation Night, is for carers and providers?
I really take it seriously, and I would want anybody who will be listening to this to agree with me that this is an important event. Many things are done around the country, and we forget people who are holding the fort in the back. For us to be here, if you had a mother who is unwell, you'd need a carer to stay behind so that you can come to this evening. Or if somebody needs to go to his workplace, you still need carers. But we have been failing to appreciate the carers. And a lot of things have been happening. When decisions are made, the carer is not in the middle of any conversation. It's like always some things which have been forgotten. They can only be talked about as and when. But I think this night is very, very important. Just showing appreciation and hoping that if we have more appreciation nights and express our views, maybe somebody who comes around, they'll hear us. Improve the pay, the pay of the carers, improve the working conditions, and also just appreciating people.
No, absolutely. I totally agree. And what would you say that you've learned over the years about how, the care should be delivered?
I've been a long time in this industry. I've learned that, as I've just said, that respecting the people whom we look after. And I always remind my co-workers and colleagues that whenever you are doing care, imagine that person being your mom or your dad or your sibling. The way you would treat your mom is the way we should treat that person whom we are caring for. And also, just to imagine that there is a CCTV watching you, whether there's one or whether there's none. But just put it in your mind that whatever you're doing, is it what you do when somebody's watching you? And if you have that type of, towards your work, you become a very good carer. And I've also learned that, loving people as they are, and giving them the respect and dignity. When you come into Mrs. Smith, you don't just throw them around. You just don't do what the bad things which we sometimes see on of people who they've done some things on during their work time. We also honesty. I've learned that being honest from the beginning is a good trait of a good carer. If something happens, own up, say what happened. Well, if it gets worse, it's okay, but you'd have done your part. You've seen it, you've said it, and whatever comes after that, you know that I've already told somebody about it, I've seen it, and I've said it. And I've said it honestly, because we
Yeah.
are dealing with people. We are not dealing with goods. I would want to know honestly what would have happened to my mom.
No, that's really key, and I think from our conversation so far, that's one thing that I've taken away from your experience that you've shared. It's at the heart of it, it's people, isn't it? At the heart of it, it's human. It's could be your mom, it could be your grandparent, it could be your friend, it could be anybody. And I think keeping that human element is really important. Having that empathy, that respect, and remembering that they had a life before this moment. And you kind of dived into my next question, really, which was just around what that one advice. I know you've kind of given so many around the honesty. I think is really important. What would be that kind of one advice that you would give to carers?
I'd want to say, for you to be a carer, you need to care for yourself first. Like in the aeroplane, they say you put your own seat belt first before you try to help anybody else. So for my advice for any carer is to care for yourself. Make sure that you eat well, you sleep well, and you also dress well, and you all the bathroom activities, clean your teeth. You don't want to be bending over Mrs. Smith, and then Mrs. Smith is trying to run away from your mouth. Just make sure that you are. And during these winter months, be bold enough and have a shower. Buy yourself some good shoes, some good walking shoes, and some warm clothes, and then you can also care for Mrs. Smith, because you'll say, I'm warm, I've put on an undergarment. You also remember to put in an undergarment on your client, because if you don't care for yourself, you might not be able to care for them.
No, I love that.
Client. And also, especially for the overseas carers, I'd want to say, whenever you're working, remember you are on a skilled worker visa. You don't get paid and spend all your money that month. Save, because you never know what happens tomorrow. There might be a revocation, a liquidation, and that will affect you and your family. So as much as I'm saying care for yourself, buy yourself nice shoes, don't forget to save your money, so that for any eventuality which comes up. And it's not only for overseas, but I think everybody should be saving up for yes. And also, treating your job with respect. We have been asking people to remember carers, but if you look down on your job, you struggle because you are not happy with your job. Be happy with your job. Be happy to be there, and always, having a smiling face, being positive in life takes you a long way. If you go to work hating your job, oh, I'm just a carer. You're not just a carer. The world might not appreciate you, but Mrs. Smith, who is going to see you, and you're the only person she's going to see today, will really appreciate you.
Yeah.
So the positive attitude is very, very important.
No, thank you so much.
I could go on for it.
Yeah, no, really, really great words of wisdom, and you've touched on so many key things. Looking after yourself, because if you don't look after yourself, how can you look after somebody else? You can only give what you have. Hygiene, you're dealing with people on a personal basis, so all of these things, really, it's about taking ownership, being integral, and enjoying your work and what you do. So yeah, you've said so many wise words, and definitely I think it will go a long way. My final question to you is, what does the future of care looks like?
I I don't know from which angle, whether it's looking bright or whether it's looking bleak. Care will always be needed.
Yeah.
Especially in the first world countries. Some, upcoming countries, they look after their old people, they look after their vulnerables. But as I've worked in this country, you find that each year you're getting more and more older people. So care will always be there. Yeah, and also that we've got AI coming in. It's gonna come into care industry, maybe reminding Mrs. Smith to take her tablets, but there are certain things which I think the AI won't be able to do for people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, so care industry will always be there.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Thank you so much, Pastor. And it's been amazing having you on. You've dropped so much gems and wisdom, and I personally, can take away from. So I'm completely sure that our viewers have enjoyed having you on the show. And I think actually we should bring you back because yeah, it's been a wonderful conversation. I want to bring McClare on. And just to kind of carry on the conversation, I think there's so many things that you said that will kind of touch her remit. But yeah, thank you so much, Pastor Anna, for coming on. Hi, McClare. Hello.
Good evening, Bimi.
Good evening. Good evening. Now, I'm sure you've been listening to the conversation, but just quickly tell us who you are and the kind of angle you coming. Because I know you've cared for your grandparent.
Yes.
Yeah, and so tell us a little bit about your journey and what that's been like.
So yes, my name is McClare, and I kind of started caring for my nan not straight after uni, but a couple months after uni. So when I came back from university, it was kind of like after COVID, but before COVID, my nan was like walking fine. But then during COVID, her legs kind of like gave away and she wasn't unable to kind of like walk and care for herself. So when I came back from uni, I saw that my mum was like really doing it, and my mum's quite not old, but quite old herself. And I didn't want my mum to go through that. So I decided to start helping my mum, like caring for my nan. And I was only supposed to start helping, and somehow it just turned into, a full-time job. And I just started caring for her, and I lost myself there. And I just started caring for her, and and it's been 4 years now since I've been caring for her. So yeah.
Wow. Okay. That must have been quite a heavy responsibility to make that decision. And I've been kind of touching a lot on unpaid carers. Would you say that's where you kind of would fit in, or how would you, because a lot of people might not know the industry that well or understand where do they fit in terms of the labels, I suppose?
So I do get paid to look after my nan, but it's not the same as I used to get paid when I had like a normal like job. Yeah. So you get paid a certain amount because it's really capped per month. You get a certain amount, and if you was to look for another job, you'll get capped as well in that other job as well. So it's basically less than £1,000 basically per month.
Yeah.
And so you do get paid for it, but I know some people don't get paid for it, but I do get paid to look after my nan, but not as much as I used to get paid, obviously from my old previous job. But yeah. I chose to care for my nan. So yes.
No, absolutely. And I'm sure that there would have been some steps to kind of get there to get the support that you need. And I guess it's what you was touching on, Pastor Anna, about just the kind of carers being underpaid and just, what they have to go through. When you kind of made that decision, what was the kind of, did you have the support around you, or what was the step? Did you have the knowledge on what to do? Because, I'm sure it must have been new to you, as you explained, it wasn't planned, something happened to your nan and you stepped in and you made that choice. What was that impression, that first impression, and getting to the next step?
So looking after a grandparent or a parent essentially is that you become a mum. because it's like they are basically the same as a baby, as a toddler, but the only difference is that, you know, babies and toddlers, they grow up to become independent. But whereas our grandparents and our parents, they grow up, the more they grow up, they become more dependent on you. And so it was when I kind of like started, I kind of like just treated as how I kind of like treat my nephews and nieces. But then it became a bit more because like my nan, she doesn't like listening. She's quite stubborn. So it's like you have a toddler, you have a baby, but at the same time, you have to also be respectful of that age as well, because my nan's 89. So I wasn't prepared for it to say, but I've seen how my mum looked after her. And I'm a visual person. I learn from what I see. So from seeing my mum look after my nan is what has helped me be the carer that I am for my nan. So it's like my mum can go out and come back anytime, but she'll know that she's fine with my nan. So yeah.
Yeah, no, thank you. And kind of Pastor Anna, being, you know, having the I guess the years of experience that you have, and you mentioned quite a lot about anybody can end up in positions where they need care. What kind of preparation would you advise, you know, just people in general to start having and start being forward thinking about what could be and what the future of care could look like from a personal basis? What would you say around that? If I could take that from Pastor Anna first, and then I'll come back to you, McClare.
Preparation. I don't think there's much. Anybody would run away from getting old or for getting, you know, it's not only getting old. Sometimes sicknesses can make you immobile. You need to be lying in bed all the day. Preparation is the same as knowing that this person was once my nan who looked after me when I was young, and you can still have a good picture of her running around with you, laughing, and now she's all there. I think preparation is to get along with your family. I find that many families, they say, you know, my daughter lives down the road. I don't talk to her. Because when you are in that state, you know, you need somebody with power of attorney, which is something which we can talk about next time. Somebody who can handle your affairs, a will or something, you know. We can touch on those documents which you can have in handy, because sometimes when you get that unwell, you don't have any power of attorney. Nobody can make a decision for you. That will make life easier for you. If we had prepared in that way.
Yeah. No, thank you so much for that insight. One of the things that I really liked when I came across, 'cause I know you've been on TikTok with your with your nan, and it's really wonderful to see. And one of the things that struck me actually when I came across your video was just the questions that we don't really tend to think about. You know, if you don't have a sister who would care for, you know, your mom or your nan, if you don't have a brother, and vice versa. Would you say there's anything that you would, I guess, if you could advise yourself then, just in terms of that topic of preparation? I guess for me, it's thinking about the future. It could be a little bit like, I say childbirth or being a parent, you can't fully prepare for it because there is no playbook for anything like that. But I think thinking about those questions, that was quite triggering for me to think, actually, yeah, what would happen? Because it will happen. We will get old. So yeah, if we can touch on a little bit about that, McClare.
So I think before you actually physically become a carer for your parents or your grandparent, you need to be mentally ready for it. And one thing for me, I was not mentally ready. Like I knew, like I said, I knew looking after my nan would become like me being a mom, taking care of my child. But I expected, you know, to be changing their pads, but I didn't really prepare myself to change my nan. Like when she does number 2, when she does, like, I was not prepared for that. So I feel like mentally people need to prepare themselves, like actually need to like start preparing how to watch videos, like how do I actually change a baby's nappy? Because literally, like, the same way you would change a baby's nappies, the same way you actually change your parents / your grandparents, the same way you'd kind of like give them food, the same way you wake up in the middle of the night to go check for if your baby's crying, if they're okay, is the same way you actually do for your nan. So I feel like just watching videos on how to become a parent will help you on how to become a carer, because it essentially is the same thing, but just different ages, and one person is older and one person's a baby, and that's literally it. But I feel like learning how to become a parent will help you learn how to be a carer. And as well, from a Christian perspective, is in a sense you are mirroring Jesus, because in the Bible says in Genesis 1:26, God said, "Let us make man in our own image and in our own likeness." And Jesus came on earth and he said, "I did not come to be served, but to serve others." So in essentially, like, your helping is kind of like a mandate as well, because in 1 Timothy, I believe chapter 5, verse 4, like God tells us to look after our parents. So in a sense, so essentially you are following the Bible by taking care of parents and grandparents. So yes, I think being mentally prepared and just learning how to be a parent, which will help you be a carer, and just following the biblical aspects of that as well. So yes.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I think, again, it's having that compassion, isn't it? And you mentioned about respect. That's a really big thing, because it's such a dynamic shift and change that you go through. You know, you go from that's your parent that looks after you, and those roles reverse, and you have to maintain and cover your parent and protect your parent, and you go into a different realm and a different level that you probably didn't really anticipate to go into. Take us back a little bit, that experience when you kind of first realized that actually I'm a carer and carrying those responsibilities. What was going through your mind? What was happening in those moments?
Oh God. So just before I officially like became an actual like proper carer, because I was just helping out before, God like led me to quit my job. So before, obviously, I'll help when I'm back from work, but now I had free time, I had nothing else to do. So like I was there, I was available to look after my nan. And I think the moment where it actually really hit me, it was one day when my mum went out, and it was the first day I was just left alone with my nan, and she did a number 2 on herself. And I cried. I literally cried, because I knew this day would come. I wasn't expecting to come like that, because obviously when she did do a number 2 on herself, I would get my mum to do that, like everything else I can do. But that first time, I was like, oh my gosh, like,
What I do?
I called my mum crying. She was like, "What do you expect me to do? Clean her up?" And I'm a bit of a dramatic person, so I spent like about 5 minutes crying before I actually went to clean her up. And I feel like that's when it actually hit me. I'm a carer. And then till now, I'm still not used to her doing number 2s. Like, I can wipe it quicker, but I'm still not used to it. But it hit me 2 years ago. I think, 3 years ago actually, that I am actually a carer, and this is what God has called me to do. Because at first I was like, God, like, is this all I am? Like, you led me to quit my job, and now I'm here changing nappies and all of this. But then God reminded me that he chose me for a reason. And my nan, she's got 10 kids, she's got 50 grandchildren, and she's got 72 great grandchildren. And out of everyone, out of everyone,
the chosen one.
So God made me realize that it's a blessing, because my nan prays for me every day. So other than everyone else, I'm receiving prayers from my nan. So yeah, it's a blessing. So yes.
Oh, I love that. That's really, really encouraging. And I'm one for open and honest conversations, because I think that's where we get the real value, and actually the support and the knowledge and the experience, where we can tap into other people's experience. So yeah, I just wanted to thank you for just being really open and transparent. Pastor Rani, you spoke earlier about the self-care, and I just want to tap into that a little bit, because I can imagine how important it is to, you mentioned about mentally being ready, McClare, and just taking time for yourself so that you can pour into your nan or pour into whatever family member might need the care. What, Pastor Anna, what would be like a kind of top tip self-care regime that you would recommend or advise?
Is that to me or to Michaela?
Yes, to you, please. Yeah, to you.
Okay. All right. Sorry about that. I thought you were asking Michaela. Michaela, the top tip is remember you're a young woman. And I must say that I'm really impressed by you. Very few girls would go down that lane. I've worked with a number of very young girls. They still struggle doing care. But well done to you to have taken that road to look after your grandma, and blessings are coming your way.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah.
Remember what I said. You are number one. You cannot look after your grandmother if you don't look after yourself. So don't forget that you're a young woman. You need to go around looking, you don't go out and so that people say, oh, that one, she looks after, she's like that because she looks after her grandma. No, I'm sure your grandma would want to see you in your high heels swinging, Nobody should tell who you are by how you are going about. Take pride in what you are doing. I can see you have got your hair nicely done. Wear what makes you, don't give up on anything. The fashion which fits you, and make sure that you have got breaks from the caring. Your mom should give you your me time.
Mom, are you hearing that? I know she's here.
You should have a me time where you have got to go out. Nobody's gonna call you that come back. Grandma is head and number 2, or come back. We don't know where this is. No. You have got to go out, enjoy yourself, and also go on holiday.
Yes.
When you're on holiday, forget
Like, say
about
louder.
grandma. Forget about grandma. Just know that you are enjoying yourself. Because sometimes if you really start caring for her and forget yourself, you will get angry, begin to hate her, you begin to have negative feelings towards her. So we thank God you've got your mom around. Take turns, give each other time for a breather. And you're saying that you're still struggling with number 2. Don't struggle. It's part of the job. You just go, do it quicker, and you're done. And with a lot of equipment and the pads, it's not like where you're going to use your hands and everything. Just sell it. Love, as I said, love to love her. And she can always tell also. Once you begin doing that caring without your heart, she will know it straight away. She will know that you are just doing it because you've got to do it. But if you do it with your heart, it makes her happy because she knows that you are doing with all the love.
I love that. Thank you. Thank you so much, Pastor Anna. Should have bought some tissues. I'm like, oh. No, it's been really great. And I love that, do it with your heart and that person will feel it and you get your reward. And I love how you anchored what you're doing in the word. Knowing that what you're doing, there's a reason for everything that you're doing. Because I think when people don't have that, it can be quite difficult and you go through the motion. And it's such there's so much emotion that goes into this, because it takes a toll on your whole mental well-being. So I think that aspect is really important. Just before we round up, just Claire, like, how do you balance that kind of your health and your well-being and social aspect, and just making sure that you're constantly grounded and your heart is always in it as much as you can? I'm sure you have your days, which is absolutely normal, but how do you have that balance?
I feel like naturally, like for everyone that knows me, I love to serve and help anyways. So it's like, it's a part of who I am. So it's like, when I just decide like, oh, let me just go sit down for like 10 minutes by myself, or like sit down for an hour. But I just always think about my nan, because like I said, I feel like she's my baby. It's like God has gifted me her to take care and steward her really well. And the same way like we do to, you know, keep the babies alive is the same way God has made me do whatever I can to keep her alive. So yes, sometimes I can just leave her for like an hour or two, but not more than 2 hours. Because if I come back, she'll just do whatever. But I feel like I do give myself, you know, some sort of balance, like, and but I just always have to kind of let my mum know in advance, like, I'm gonna go this place, I'm gonna go that place. But if she's going somewhere on the same day as me at the same time, we clash. So, but I always have to kind of like obey my mum, or kind of like just reschedule my my time and my my meetups. But other than that, I still look after myself. Like, I love skincare. I love my oral health.
Tell.
I love
Skin is
skincare.
good.
I still find time to look after myself. And again, like, I do really enjoy looking after my nan as well. So I do spend time doing other things, but most times, like, I feel like spending time with my nan, I learn a lot, because like, she's got a lot of stories to tell, and she's been there. So it's like, whatever I need to know for the future, is like I can just ask her. And so yeah, so I feel like I've made a balance of how to be a carer and how to just live a normal life as a, you know, a young person. But at the same time, I do enjoy spending time with my nan, which I need to actually not stop, but give myself a bit of a break.
Just to balance.
Yeah.
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 And call yourself blessed, because
Amen.
some people never saw their nanas. Call yourself blessed.
Man.
Yeah, no, definitely. And you know what I just love, just oozing through my screen, is joy radiates beauty, and I can see the joy in you and the heart that you have towards this. And what advice would you have for young women who might be in similar position, and it might be they're just at the beginning, at the starting point? What would be your kind of advice to them and your word of encouragement?
As Pastor Anna said, always do with the heart. I believe is showing Jesus to the world through the way you serve. And serving your parents is, in a sense, showing them the love of Christ, if that makes sense. So it's a bit of a burden, but at the same time is you're doing the will of God. There's a reason why God has chosen you for such a time as this. Like, nothing makes sense, but like, keep going and know that there's a reason why God has chosen you, and what we sow is what we reap. So it's like, the way I look after my nan now, I hope that my kids will look after me the same. So it's like, I'm sowing for what I want to reap in, you know, the years to come. So essentially, yeah, it's hard, but just have friends to speak to. And one thing that helps me sometimes when I'm a bit low is worship. I love worship. So sometimes just find something that will help you when things get too much. So when things get too much, I find myself in worship. So yeah.
You need to have your anchor, isn't you, to have something that will hold you down when things are kind of going really down and you're feeling low. So we've got our Carers Appreciation Night happening on the 7th of March. How important would you say, or kind of having these events of carers coming together and just being part of that community, because it's more than just appreciating and awarding, it's building a whole community that is so necessary. But yeah, we just touch on that a little bit before we go.
Yeah, I feel like it's very important, because as much as, you know, the people that we're caring for, they're alone, we're also quite alone as well, because we kind of like, we're closed out with them as well. So I feel like us coming together, in a sense, is like to just remind different carers that you're not by yourself. You've got a whole community that is doing the same thing with you. And one thing I even realized as well, when I was posting the videos of me and my nan, and a lot of people was like, oh my gosh, I thought it was only me doing this, I thought it was only me doing that, but there's actually quite a lot of us. So I feel like this Carers Appreciation Night will kind of like help people navigate knowing that they're not alone in the world. So yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thank you so much both for joining me in today's live. It was absolutely phenomenal. I loved every single bit of it. I've learned so much from both of you, and your bravery, McClare, just everything that you're doing, your heart.
Yeah. Well done, girl. Well done.
Yeah, well done, girl. We don't see it often, and I'm so inspired. And I'm like, actually, you know what? You've given me so much food for thought, Pastor Anna. Your wisdom and your experience in the industry. It's just so much gems. I'm definitely going to go away tonight and watch this back. So thank you so much. And I'm really looking forward to seeing both of you, hopefully, on the Carers Appreciation Night event happening on the 7th of March. Thank you so much to all of our listeners, our viewers, whether you're watching on YouTube, on Facebook. We are here every Monday and Thursdays from 7 p.m. So please do join the lives, get connected, join the network for carers, not just in the Midlands, but in the UK. We want to hear about your story. But yeah, one last thing, where can they find you, McClare? And then where can they find you, Pastor Anna? McClare, if you just want to drop your handles, how can they connect with you?
Yes, my name on TikTok and Instagram is literally the same here, McClare Nokoye, on all platforms. And yes, that's where you can find me on TikTok and Instagram.
And go and follow her. She's got amazing videos with her and her nan. And Pastor Anna, how can I get in touch?
A bit ancient for TikTok, but I'm going to learn. I'm on Facebook, Anna Pambana. You can catch me there, but soon you'll be seeing me on TikTok. I'm going to learn from you.
Yes. So we want to see Pastor Anna on TikTok, and we want to see McClare. When I speak to you again, I want to know what holiday you've been on, or what your day has been like. So your day. So that's both of your assignments, I suppose. Thank you so much, and thank you, everyone. I'll speak to you.
Thank you, all the viewers. See you.
Bye.
Good night.